Bob, how you doing?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh.
All good. You know, you have no idea what I'll have great story for you for this call.
All right, so Saget, you're on the line, and it's been like you're kind of late, and you're kind of back and forth here. What's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of delays in my life today, and I apologize. And you and I met in where were we exactly?
That was Regina, Saskatchewan.
Of course, it was Regina. Now, why legally can't they change the name? I mean, Saskatchewan is a terrible. No, I meant the other name, but.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, man, it just sounds like something that you would get at the doctor if you had a yeast infection. But yeah, we met. You told me your name was DJ Tanner, and I took a fearful liking of you immediately.
Ah, well.
Because someone comes up and goes, I'm a character name from a show you were on. It's a little scary.
Yeah, I believe at that time there was actually a couple of guys hanging out backstage that were trying to meet you, and it must get kind of weird, hey, after a while.
Well, it'd be like, I guess, it depends on celebrities. If Tom Selleck somewhere and someone says, hey, my name is T.J. Hooker. Oh, wait, that was William Shatner. No, Tom Selleck was someone else.
I can't keep him straight either.
Who was Tom Selleck? He was Magnum P.I.
That's the one, yeah.
The guy comes up and goes, hi, I'm Magnum P.I. Or T.J. Hooker. Or T.J. Hooker, there are women that would say my name is T.J. Hooker, too.
I'm
William
sure.
Shatner,
if they asked what they did for a living, maybe they would answer.
Right, but you were DJ Tanner.
Yeah,
so that was my TV daughter. And that was really your legal name?
Well, yeah, like the radio DJ. My name is Tanner. It just kind of, after a couple of years, it just kind of fell together.
Was it induced by a Full House reference?
Well, I've always been a fan, Bob. So kind of someone one day was like, hey, why don't you just go by DJ Tanner? It makes sense. Like, why not?
But I apologize for the delay in this call. I had a couple things happen. One, my mother, who's older, had some problems that she needed to, let me just say I had to make an Imodium drop earlier.
Ooh.
You have to do what you got to do for your mama.
Yeah.
And and then I got a welder over, and we closed her up entirely. But you're still there. I had an electrician at the house because the circuit breaker went on my jacuzzi, and of course I can't have a non-functioning jacuzzi.
Was that to do with the mother? Maybe something got plugged up in there and blew the break?
No, they're not related. My mother's miles from here.
Okay.
Okay, my mother was in the jacuzzi drinking Bellinis.
It all
need to keep her going. I had the Ukrainian plumber just came to the house, and I don't mean to put his nationality on it, but his accent made this a funnier story, which was he came from a porn shoot where their circuit breakers had gone off.
Oh, my God.
So the circuit breakers blew so the actors couldn't, is basically what happened.
Oh.
And I don't know if you can put that on the air, but that's what he kind of tried to say me as a joke. And my circuit breaker was nothing. I just had a screw loose, exactly like the porn shoot. It's just unbelievable. You can't write things that just happen.
This is it. This is a good inspiration for comedy.
And we all have it happen, so it's life.
Well, at least I got some downtime in between calls here. I just did like a quick little Bob Saget Google. What's with Stamos posting this photo of you with the drag queen? It's not even you.
Yeah. We went to this Outside Lands festival because I performed at Bonnaroo, which was a big festival near Nashville 6 months ago. And Stamos, we surprised everybody and had him sing this song that I sing at the end of my show, which is to the tune of the Backstreet Boys, I Want It That Way. I sing Danny Tanner Was Not Gay. And Stamos surprised me then. So then we went to go see Paul McCartney a couple weeks ago. And so,
very cool.
Such a long story for such a short question. I apologize. And Jeff Ross, comedian Jeffrey Ross,
the
roast master, general, whatever he calls himself, is a friend of mine. And John and I crashed his show and went on at the end of it. And it was kind of a carny atmosphere. It was a circus tent kind of thing. And we just went on to screw around. And it was in San Francisco, so I actually sang that song there because it was very fitting, because that's where Full House was based,
San Francisco,
which is where your namesake was invented. And this guy was in a dress because he was a drag expert, and Stamos took a liking to him, as he does with anything metro and fashionable, and put his arm around him and said that it was me. Which, of course, you could see it wasn't me. It looked more like the Anthony Weiner version of what people think I would want to be. But, I would like to think I'm much more of a dental hygienist look than, the Anthony Weiner variety. I look more like your accountant than a guy who would be Anthony Weiner.
You still stay in touch with some of the guys from the show, then obviously you and Stamos.
Everybody. Yeah, there isn't anyone that I do not speak to. Stamos I talk to on a crazy regular basis, more regular than my mother is right now.
You guys are it's like two girls on Instagram with all the selfies. You're always posting photos with each other. It's crazy.
Yeah, we're two peas in a pea. We were overdoing it, and every time. But it was his birthday last week, and there's a party for him Monday that I'm hosting because it's not stopping because he's turning 50, and it's a midlife crisis. But I'm over that, so I'm like, my midlife crisis is, I guess, about 35 years long. It started about 20 years ago, and I've got 20 more to go. That's pretty much my life is a midlife crisis. So when this trip to San Francisco happened, I just took him there and got him his hotel room. We hung out for days, and it was really quite fun, but I don't remember them. And now I'm back to reality with circuit breakers blowing and my mother needing Imodium.
Yeah, somebody asked me this question. This is kind of a good one. Which is the real Bob Saget? Are you like, do you find yourself more like how you are on stage with the comedy, or like are
no,
you?
I'm not like that at all. Actually, when I am, it's unfortunate because I can't sleep because it's a person. The on stage to perform on stage when I perform, it requires for most stand-ups a huge amount of adrenaline. Yeah. So anybody that performs, and I'm sure there are tons of people listening. And
yep.
If you're on the air for a couple hours, it takes you a couple hours if you were to go to bed. If you're doing that at like 8 o'clock at night, or 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night, you're up till 2 or 3 in the morning. So it's unfortunate when I have that persona. But right now I'm completely out of that mode. I'm writing a book.
Wow.
I'm doing a little bit of stand-up if it's places I love, but I'm writing a book for HarperCollins, which comes out in May. And it's from It Books, and it's kind of a bit of a memoir, but more about life and actually comedy and death, because I lost a lot of people. I lost my 2 sisters, and I lost my uncles, and I talked about a lot of comedians that I loved that passed away, like Rodney Dangerfield and Richard Pryor, and how I came up and grew up with those people kind of being my mentors. And so that's what I'm working on, and I'm working on directing this movie that's going to take me time as well, and developing some TV stuff. But then I'll come back when I can to perform up there.
Yeah.
I don't know, Regina. I'll go anywhere named Regina.
Well, we got to come. You got to come to Saskatoon. We're the bigger city that's a little bit north of Regina. And
well, anything bigger than Regina, I don't know if I can. Is there anything? I need something smaller than Regina.
Oh well, you can go.
No,
I'm
sorry.
We got options, man. We got. The good thing about Saskatchewan is you can see all the other cities from where you're standing, so it's great.
I'm fine with that. I want to mark my territory and see the turf from the top of the castle.
But that was the interesting thing about seeing your show in Regina, because you were a certain way on stage, but then backstage you were more like the Danny Tanner Bob Saget. It was great. You're like the nicest guy ever.
Character. So it's really weird that people, and I find it odd. I guess, and then it's a weird thing that people think that. I don't know why people think that actors are their characters. It's acting. So, but you play a character for 8 years, they think you're like that, and that's your voice, and that's your. But I mean, I've played more nasty bastards than I have, if you count the number of roles. But playing something for a week in something or 2 weeks of a shoot is nothing compared to being in the zeitgeist of the world and forever because you're on a family show. Which, and hey, it happens. It's. Leonardo DiCaprio was boner. No, he wasn't boner. Hold on, I have a problem with my electrician. As I'm talking to you, I need to communicate with my electrician.
It's all good, man. The magic of editing.
I don't have to talk to him. But DiCaprio was on Growing Pains, if you can believe that. So
yeah, wow.
So but fortunately, he only did it a short time, so no one even would think that you were Leonardo DiCaprio from the famed Growing Pains.
Yep, that's true.
I was the lead playing an anal retentive strange character who dust busted and hugged everybody, but by choice, by the way, because it was written to be a little more Richie Cunningham from Happy Days. We had the same producers, in fact. So
you get that on the street a lot. People yell, "Hey, Danny," and then you just want to punch him in the face, or how does that work out?
No, I'm not an aggressive soul, and I own my life because I want to enjoy my life. So no, it's nothing but nice things for me, and I wouldn't have the walking disclaimer that I have. But places like and if I go to England, they didn't get Full House, and they didn't have America's Funniest Home Videos with me as the host. They had another guy, in Jeremy Beadle or something. But I'm working on a bunch of other stuff, and I'll probably have something commercial that I'll be going. That's not me. It doesn't really. It's just. I like directing more than anything else, but nobody goes, "Hey, you're that guy who directs," because nobody's ever said that.
It's true. Yeah, we see it a lot with music too. There's a lot of names that write songs, but then they never get the credit for it. It's always the person singing it.
Well, the person that directs a movie, you don't really need. You're doing it because you know that it's the coolest job that there is to do anyway. And being on camera is the vainest narcissistic job. So there's plenty of arrogant directors, but for the most part, that's my favorite job, probably of anything that I do. Although right now I'm a writer, so when we hang up, I'll get back into the rewrite of this book that I've actually written the first draft of it, which is 300 pages, which took me a year and a half.
Well,
actually, when you saw me, I was in process of writing. That's how long it takes to write a damn book.
If you want to write me in there at all, that'd be awesome, Bob.
Well, you're in there. It's just not the DJ tenor I'm talking to.
Oh.
I don't actually say the name of any of the characters from the show. I think I do mention Jesse and Joey at some point, just because it's kind of hard not to, because it's cultural.
Yeah.
It's just become part of the world. That's silly. Well, I can't really criticize the show because it just got renewed in the U.S. for another 6 years on whatever, I don't know what channel, Nickelodeon or something. And
it's still big, man.
They're going to run it more all over the world because it is one of the few shows that can run any time of day, and you can put a kid in front of it, and by the end of the show, the kid has actually not been infected by something.
And it's some solid writing. Like, I went back and watched a couple episodes not too long ago. They're on TV again. And it's like I'm still laughing at that. And it's
well, I don't find them that funny because I was the one in the dinosaur outfit, But
the bad dancing.
I think it's nice for a 5-year-old or a 12-year-old. The show was made for 12-year-old girls, and then a lot of critics would go, "I don't like this." Well, that's because you're a 12-year-old girl, dude. But it wasn't made for people to be critical. It was a two-dimensional show for families to be able to watch, and it was a nice show because it had actual family values and morals at the end of it. When the synthesizers would play, and I would sit down and tell the kids they can't do something, or Jesse would tell Michelle that she shouldn't be doing this, don't play with your poop, honey, or whatever he would say, because it leads to nothing.
And to get more Bob Saget right now, you not only obviously you can check out the old shows that are still on TV in the seasons, but you got the new special too, the CD DVD.
I'm real excited about that. I did a show about 8 months ago at the Moore Theater in Seattle, and I really loved it. And I made a special out of it. It was on Showtime, and now it's just came out recently on DVD and through Amazon, and it also is on iTunes in both album form. You can buy it as a CD album. Really, it's for downloads too, and you can download the video of it, the full special. So however you want to do it, it's kind of available through a lot of outlets, downloadable.
Very cool. And the future, you said you got the book,
I should tell you the name of the special.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. So.
That's what I'm talking about. And the future, you said the book is what we're going to hang on for, hey?
Yeah, the book will be in the beginning of next year. Excuse me, from the plumber, I had a hairball in my throat. I didn't finish the glass of liquid plumber he gave me. The whole problem was within me.
Yeah.
And then I'm working on directing something. I've got a bunch of different things I'm working on, and some of them might creep your way, because you never know when it's a network show. If something it'll be a while till it goes mass. But sometimes we are in tandem, and they run in Canada simultaneously, and sometimes it does not.
We're not Russia behind, but we're kind of behind still.
Yeah, but sometimes you're right on it, and then people go, "Oh, I saw you on HBO last night." I go, "Oh, okay, so you got the thing, but it's the movie network, but you still have it because
we have pirated.
It depends on their cable service." So.
We pirate the American satellite services up here, so.
I just, I got to go back to Canada and find a woman. I mean, I can't. I just can't. You can't find a quality woman here like you can up in Canada.
Well, hey, you're always welcome to come back.
Well, I think that the reason that the women are so good there is there's so much land in between most of the provinces that you finally get to one.
Yeah.
And she's been waiting by the well with her butter churn, and she's just standing there. She's been milking the animals and
wearing a deer pelt on her back. Yeah.
Deer pelt and clogs or Crocs.
Yeah.
I like a woman with Crocs and good thick calluses on her feet, so you know that she's not only thinking about herself.
Just screams sexy.
I like a woman who doesn't spend any time in her maintenance.
All right. Well, hey, Bob Saget, thanks a lot for the time. We're going to check out the special and wait for that book out next year.
Yeah, absolutely. And the special is I think you can find it easily on my website, which bears my name, which is you could say it out loud.
BobSaget.com.
Thank you so much. That made me feel better because it's so painful to promote yourself.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Bob.
It was a pleasure to talk to you, DJ.